Hello everybody, Tracy Sizemore here. RPG a Day, day 25. I've made it up to day 25. August 25th. The question today is one of my favorites of the month. I'm still not exactly sure how I'm going to answer it, but it's probably going to be a long one, so, either get ready to settle in or brace yourself or skip it if you don't have any interest. Nobody's forcing you. The question of the day is, what is the best way to thank your GM? And I think, of course, that is highly dependent on the GM. Who the GM is and why they're running. So, I guess I can answer for me, and that's going to be hard enough as it is. Because I run for a couple different reasons. My main goal and what the biggest satisfaction I get out of GMing is to watch my players have fun. To share this, what I feel like is an important experience, my love of playing, of going into a different world and inhabiting it, and into a different character and inhabiting them. I want to share that and demonstrate to players who may or may not be seasoned at it that role-playing games can be more than just a pastime. That's part of why I do it, and why I spend so much time on it, and why it's important to me. So, as a result, I run both campaigns and one-shots, and I love them both. They're completely different animals, but I love them both. And when I run a one-shot at a con, in public, with people that I don't know and have never met, it's a challenge. I look at it as a challenge, not a I don't want to do that challenge. It's a I want to be good at it challenge. And part of being good at that, for me, is prepping until, thinking about, there is so much that goes into writing a good one-shot game that will be interesting to players, that will not drag, that will be action-packed, and yet maybe have some of those emotional hooks that I like to add to my adventures as well. It takes so much effort and work to do that. And part of this is true of other endeavors as well, but when you've done that well, it doesn't look like it's hard to the players. When you've done it well, you've made it look easy. And it's not. It's not. A lot of work goes into that. So when you find a GM who does that well, either they are uber talented. If you find a GM who can consistently run a game that you enjoy and have fun at, and genuine fun, and that you trust, either they're super talented, and they do a lot of work to make that happen. My guess is both, but there may be uber talented GMs out there who don't take any time and can come up with a great game on the fly. Certainly there are. I'm not one of those people. At least, I suppose I could do it, but I wouldn't have fun if I did it. I've done more on-the-fly GMing before, improvisational GMing before. And I think the players have had fun, but I don't have fun. So part of my fun is creating it to the point where I know it really, really well and can run it and know what my characters, my NPCs will do and all this stuff. The point I'm making is that generally if you run into a good GMing is hard. Just letting you know. It's not easy. And it's not like it's a burden. That's not what I'm saying at all. When you really want to do it, when you really want to share this stuff with other people, it's a honor to have people come to your games and to have them enjoy them. It's an honor. It's not a burden. But I do a lot of work. So for me, I think the best way you can thank your GM, there's a couple things you can do. One is do your best to engage with the game. And that seems like a silly, on-the-nose suggestion, but in this day and age when people have cell phones constantly and at the slightest sign of a lull, they'll pull that phone out. I can't stop them. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about it, but it makes me feel like I'm not doing my job. Like, oh, I lost them. And I may not have. I don't know. But when somebody is engaged with the game to the point where they're having fun with the other players and with the adventure and with you, that they don't think to pull out their phone, that's one of the things that I am trying to do, is to create an engagement level that's so high that you don't feel that urge to pull that phone out of your pocket. That's not a way to thank the GM, though. That's just a way to, I don't know, to give them the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. It's a sign that I use to see how I'm doing. But engaging with the game, that's one thing. And the other thing is, I think this is my best answer. If you enjoy the game, this is for me, some GMs do this for other reasons, but if you enjoyed the game, if you really did, and you engaged with it, and by the end you want to talk about it more, and you're having fun, and you go, wow, that was an experience that I'm glad I had, all I can say is don't be shy about telling the Game Master that. Because usually that person they want you to have had fun. It really means a lot to them because of all the work they put in. They're not doing it just for themselves. And when I have a player, I've had players come up to me. I've had players where they're super excited and they talk about the game after, and that's a good sign. It's a really good sign that they're still talking to each other about their characters and talking to me about what they want their character's epilogue to be and all this stuff. That's awesome. It's great. I've had players in those situations come up. I've had players come to different cons to play in my games. I can't tell you what a compliment that is. When they seek you out, I've had players come up to me at cons and said, man, I love your games. And you don't have to do that. If you don't feel that, don't do it. But if you do, please don't be afraid to do it. Because it means so much to the people who are running these games for you. It means so much to me. I don't want you to do it if you don't feel that. But if you're shy about it and you think that, oh no, I'm not going to say anything, please say something. And this is a good lesson for me too, because I am shy. And I don't want to bug people. I don't want to horn in on a conversation that other people are having with somebody that I want to talk to. I have trouble with that. I have to get them one-on-one, you know, in order to get them really talking. And I'm working on it. So this is a good lesson for me too, is if I'm in a game that I love, I need to be not shy about lavishing due praise on the person who did it and made it and ran it and did all that work to ensure that I had some fun. I mean, they didn't get paid for it. They just did it. And in some cases, and in my case sometimes too, they spend money to do it. They buy extras so that you can have that fun. I think that's, for me, that's the best way to thank a GM. If you had fun, don't be afraid to say it, because it means a lot. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go off on my own little thing here. I'd say the person in my life who's been most influential as far as my gaming is concerned, I can't thank enough. I have thanked him a lot, and I will continue to thank him a lot. And he probably may be uncomfortable with it, but I don't care. See, here's the thing. I'm like old enough now. I'm like 45 years old. I used to be all self-conscious and let people make fun of me for saying nice things about other people. It's really, really stupid. Really dumb what some people do these days, and what kids do to each other when they're younger. I mean, you know, they mock you for liking things. They do that now. It's just, it's horrible, really horrible, you know. And they mock you for expressing emotion, especially if you're expressed as a man, you know. And I'm over that. When I like something and when I feel an emotion about somebody in my life, I'm not afraid to tell them. I will tell them. And I will tell them multiple times and again that what they've done has influenced me, or what they've done has made me happy, or their presence in my life is meaningful to me. I will just say it. I don't care. I'm too old to care. So, unlike other people where they're too old to care about whether they say, you know, what they feel, and usually what they feel is complaining about something or being negative about something, I'm the opposite. I'm just too old to not be nice anymore. So, with that all said, Daryl Hayhurst, I've mentioned him before, and he deserves his own segment. He really does. I grew up with Daryl. I met him like in the 1st or 2nd grade, and he's been a huge influence on me. Both when we were kids, like when he was interested in drawing things, and I was interested in trying to do what he was doing, and I would play with him, you know, and then we lost touch for a long time, and then got back together when we started playing games again. And he's been, he's an amazing game everything. The guy has been groomed to be what he's become, and right now he's the line producer for Torg Eternity. Torg Eternity is the new version of Torg that's come out. That's only the beginning for Daryl. I'm telling you right now. If you haven't heard about him before, you will. And it's because he's brilliant. Not only at game design, but at game mastering, at talking about games, philosophy of games. It is phenomenal listening to him talk about them. And he's taught me not everything I know about gaming, but most of it. So, if you've played in a game of mine, if you've played with me in another game, if you've talked to me about gaming, if you value at all what I have to say about anything concerning gaming, you pretty much have Daryl Hayhurst to thank for it. He's been a huge influence and continues to be, and I feel honored to have known him for as long as I have. I've known him for 40 years, and to live in the same town with him and game with him on a regular basis and go to lunches and dinners with him and talk about games. It is a privilege to be able to do that. And so I've mentioned others in this series, but Daryl is special. So that's the way I'm thinking my game master. Daryl, thanks. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow.